In this video, I'm going to give you 2 letters. It's 1 word, 2 letters. It's very easy to remember. If you can start saying this 1 word more, you're going to create amazing boundaries, you're going to have better relationships, and you're going to have a little bit of more free time on your hands that maybe you've been looking for. That word is no. Do you have a hard time saying no? Anytime a friend or a girlfriend or a boss or a coworker or a relative asks you to do something, they need something for you, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to feel like a dick, so you say yes. And in the time that you're always saying yes, when you have other stuff to do, you start suffocating your own personal time. You start doing more for others, and oftentimes those people don't do much for you in return. I fell into this role a lot when I was younger, and it took a long time for me to start getting my boundaries set. It took a long time for me to really understand what it was I was actually doing to myself. It wasn't other people forcing me to help them. It wasn't other people who were coercing me to do this. I do have what's called that rescuer role mindset. I've done some other videos on that. Even most of my jobs were in the medical field. I have that innate want or wish to help people. So it was always hard for me to say no. And it was always at the detriment of me. I always had stuff I needed to do, and I would drop what I was doing to go help somebody. When I went through, a few years ago when I went through my divorce, I had to get back out there and date. I made a decision to not get into an actual, like a long-term relationship. I just kind of wanted to date, and I met this really cool girl, and we're still friends to this day. And I started falling into this. She was a single mom. Her ex was a complete douchebag, dickhead, basically. Would not, paid her very little bit of money. She didn't have extra income to fix some things around her house. This is a little bit more into our relationship. I just didn't go over their first date and start fixing shit. But I wanted her to like me so much, I figured, I'm pretty useful. Besides my good looks, I can fix a lot of shit. And so I offered, first, she had this plug. There was no power to it. And I'm thinking, okay, it's a breaker or whatever. I said, let me get my tools. Next time I come, I'll take a look at it. I fixed it in a couple minutes. It was a loose wire. Anyway, she started asking me, hey, I have this other thing. Can you take a look at it? Not a problem. Again, I wanted to help. I had that rescuer role. I almost was thinking to myself, I remember this. This is probably a few dates in, where we weren't really even dating anymore. I was going to her house to fix shit. And then we would hang out and watch TV. It wasn't really a courtship. And I started feeling a little used, and I didn't really know why. I didn't put the two together. Half of me was like, you're just helping her out. She really needs the help. She's appreciative of it. Just keep doing it. You don't want to start anything. This is going well. Great. The other part of me was like, and I didn't realize this for a while, I was like, Jared, you're an idiot. You're living like a marriage life now. All of a sudden, I was just back fixing shit, watching TV, and going to sleep. So I started getting resentful, but I was initially resentful to her, but then I started realizing I'm doing this to myself. About a week later, I was buried with my own work. I was also in real estate at the time. I had rental properties, and I remember I was turning a unit, and she texted me. She goes, hey, I'm going out of town for a few days. Do you mind mowing my lawn? Something just hit me, and I fucking blew up at her. I was just like, what the fuck? Mow your own lawn. Like, I've done this for you. I've done that for you. I can't believe you're even asking me this. And nothing. I didn't get a text message from her for a few hours. She finally texted me back. She goes, I didn't mean anything by it. You've been doing a lot of stuff for me. I just figured if you weren't busy, if you didn't mind. And I was like, well, I am busy. And again, I've done this for you. I've done that for you. At that moment, I started realizing when I said I've done, that's exactly what I did these things. I offered myself to do these things. And then when she started realizing that I was going to never say no, she started asking for more things. It's human nature. I mean, she wasn't using me. Don't get me wrong. I don't think she ever used me. She was just like, he's being a good guy, a nice guy. He's helping me out. I did have that nice guy tendency at that moment. I blew up at her, typical nice guy. I wasn't getting my way. I was doing. And when she asked me something else, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. So I said no. Our relationship didn't really work out right after that, because she did message me after a vacation. She goes, you have a lot of the same tendencies my ex has, and I just didn't pick it up until that last text where you just blew up at me for no reason. And of course I was like, shit, I'm sorry, I was doing all this weak behavior, give me another chance. But she was right. I didn't work on myself. I didn't work on my own boundaries. I didn't work on creating that space between dating. When you date a woman, your role initially isn't to go fix her shit at her house. Your role is to get to know her, have a good time with her, and if it moves into more of a relationship, then that's a different topic. But I was dropping what I was doing. So it took me some time in therapy and even in coaching to realize this, that I've always had this. I've always had that rescuer mindset. I always had that. I always just wanted to help people. And until I learned to flip the rescuer role or that mindset to a coach, where start showing people how to do something, or letting them know, or giving them that freedom, like, you know how to do this, I can help you, but you know how to do this. You kind of flip more to a coach. So I'm bringing that up because another relationship I have, when I really started understanding this, when I really started grasping this power of having a strong boundary and saying no, is maybe about a month into our dating, she was having some money issues. And I started seeing it coming because she was dropping hints like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for my car, and I have rent coming up. And again, I'm not bashing women. What I am saying is how this situation happened to me. Her ex wasn't paying the child support. He wasn't paying the maintenance he was supposed to. And she didn't have a great job. So she sort of came out and says, hey, can I borrow $600? And when he pays me back, you'll be the first to get it. I just looked at her, not mean. I says, I'm sorry, I can't do that. That would ruin this relationship. I never give money to friends, to loved ones, to relatives. It's just a hard thing I always say no to. She was stepped back a little bit, but that was the end of it. Then I kind of went into more of that coaching role, and I told her, I says, you always struck me as someone very resourceful. What are some things that you can do to generate some cash? Or what are some of the things you can do? Maybe call your car company and get a deferment. And a light bulb went off on her. And she's like, you know what? I can do that. And she did do that. She called the car company, told her about the situation. They put that payment in the back end, so it freed her up for some money. Says, call your landlord. Tell your landlord what's going on. How much money do you have? I started getting into the role of coaching, where I saw that she was capable. I saw that she was smart and that she had resources, but she didn't see that. And this all comes from just the power of the word saying no. This is all the power of just having that strong boundary and having that understanding that everybody in themselves are powerful. What makes them not see their own power is if you just do stuff for them. If you just have that thought, I'm just going to help them out. They don't really need the help. It's just an easy way to get the tasks done without them putting any emotional bandwidth or realizing that they have the emotional bandwidth to put in. So I want you to get in the power of saying no. I don't want you to get in the power of saying no just to be a dick. If you have the time and you have the resources and you truly know that person really needs your help, that's a different thing. But if you don't have the time, if you don't have the resources, if you're overwhelmed, if you feel like you're getting burned out, and somebody comes up to you or asks you, a relative, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, that they need something, give yourself permission to say no. Give yourself that ability to be like, I can't. I'm just taxed out. My emotional piggy bank right now is on empty. I can't give you anything else. There's so much power in that, and it also sets the boundary for that other person. You don't want to say it in a way where it's snarky. You don't want to say it in a way where, you know, they feel threatened or off put, and if they do, who cares? The power of saying no, you don't need an explanation. This is for all the men that are out there. It has really nothing to do if you're young or older. I was in my mid-30s getting out of my divorce, and I did not have that ability to say no. This is something that's learned. This is something that you have to practice, and this is something that you have to do sparingly. You can't just say no to everything and feel like you're winning. That's not the case. This isn't about winning. This is about creating a strong boundary between you and this person, creating a strong boundary between you and that situation, and having that power just to say no, not give it any explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation why you're saying no. Just say no, go on with your day. If they get mad, that's their problem. My name is Jared Shoemaker. This is Magnetic Men's Club. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you know when new videos are made. And remember that power of that 2-letter word, no. It's the most powerful word in the English language. With that, have a good day.